Another quick short video. Monday morning. Got the neighbours doing my head in every week, playing Craig David 7 days, every day of the week, having it off down there. And every Monday they play Craig David 7 days and have a shag. Fucking interesting. Just absolutely annoying. Anyway, no, without going into one too much about the other neighbours living there, that's nothing compared to what other things that are going on. Annoying still, shouldn't have to hear that, but such is life. Where was I going with this? So yeah, the Kingpin, the shaping of the sovereign state in the Schellenbergian group exploits of Gary Dixon with his gaffu shell-shocked little boys over in Havering at Ibawa. So yeah, Kingpin antics. So as a kid, surgically incised scrotum, soluble stitches through the scrot sac. They'd purposely chopped the end of my bell end, so I ended up having a cut there as well. And the gaffer's getting to pin me to the bed at Kingsbridge Circus, Havering, with the handheld stun gun. Short, sharp, shocking, the mean intensity of electric current required to elicit, or what they were doing was taking these clinical studies from renowned clinical specialists. So say you've got Kingsbridge Circus, Harold Hill, Romford, Essex, in the Royal Liberty of Havering at Ibawa. That's where Gary Dixon's gaffer lived, at 9 Denby House, Kingsbridge Circus. Put on a freak show as though he was King John, or or as though he was like John Lackluster. Adding a little buffing sheen to little boys' backsides, or as though he was Harold Godwinson of Harold Hill, who made the little ones wince under him with the handheld stun gun at the block of flats there. That's Gary Dixon's gaffer, John Bacon, the Bacons and the Dixons. They've got a couple of other aliases and names that they use, and I'm not mentioning that at the moment because I've got problems with another group of people here who I believe are the extended kinship of John Bacon. But yeah, so Gary Dixon with his Project Monarch, the Monarch Mercia thing here in the Midlands, with them embedding the needle in my midsection, with him living on the middle floor flat with the upside down St George's flag in the window, operating the RF signal generator in microvolts. So he's inducing in MVs microvolts to torture, and his gaffer who tortured children in microamps with the handheld stun gun in the Royal Liberty of Havering at Ibawa. Where's I going this? Yeah, Kingpin. His gaffer was a kingpin when he pinned little boys down on the bed with a handheld stun gun, had their bodies butchered at Haroldwood Hospital Children's Ward with genitalia mutilation and the forearm being butchered of the victim so the victim couldn't fight back. Baconianism involving the surgical butchering of children they had ritually tortured, electrocuted, and literally buggered. Like literally, that's what they got up to. They're having children buggered, tortured, butchered. So that's the gaffer. And then you got his gopher and the relatives of the gaffer, John Bacon, out here in Kettering, Northamptonshire, with their Nazism in Northamptonshire. That involves the local National Health Service hospital embedding needles into the groin triangle of their victims whilst they get to masthead the victim with this 1950s RF field generator, whilst aggrandising the fact that they're having that done with their BDSM fetish pornography, target your daughter, camcorder movies. So, like I'm at Kettering General Hospital under the target machine in the X-ray department, radiology department, having the arthrogram procedure performed in 2008. Whilst I'm at that hospital under the X-ray machine, having a needle inserted into the top of my leg, he's 5 stops down the train track, targeting what he believes to be my oldest daughter with a camcorder with an adapted target lens. And the way that they're playing this pitch off of family members, off of one another, is no different in Havering when his gaffer in the Royal Liberty went out hunting little boys that he tortured with the yellow transit van or the silver Volkswagen Sirocco whilst driving around the streets with a handheld stun gun next to him. Yeah, MAs and MVs, the kingpin antics of the sovereign's elect, isn't it? You know, like, so whether it was his gaffer sodomizing children that got tortured, clinically butchered and electrocuted in the Royal Liberty of Havering at Ibawa, whilst living at Kingsbridge Circus, Harold Hill, Romford, Essex, King John of Kingsbridge Circus, John Lackluster, isn't it, the last Anglo-Saxon king allowed to have sex with them. So that pitch, any type of pitch where they do role-playing, isn't it? So it's what they call the role relationship modelling schema, RRM. So they will role relationship model the schematizing with one another whilst playing the pitch, playing the role. So like Gabby Dixon's gaffer would play that role at Kingsbridge Circus, and then again with Dixon and the relatives of John Bacon here in Kettering, Northamptonshire, as they play the pitch as though they were the gopher of the paedophilic gaffer John Bacon, so head of Saxe Coburg Gopher, innit, as the gopher of the gaffer, House of Windsor, like. They believe they're royalty, and literally that's exactly what they think they are. And that's why they commit this type of offending, and they believe they're a notch above everyone else, that they should be allowed to get away with it, and that the NHS and the police force should aid and abet them in their offences. Yeah, pinned my leg, innit? They got my leg pinned here in Kettering, Northamptonshire. And Gary played the part of Kingpin, innit? Sovereign Elector, the Schellenbergian in-group sadism of a sadist operating an RF field generator, torturing his victim whilst aggrandising the fact with all of the fetish pornography. Um, the way that Gary Dixon played the part of Kingpin here is no different than his gaffer John Bacon at Kingsbridge Circus, who played the part of Kingpin with young boys that got raped and tortured with a handheld stun gun, whilst the NHS aided and abetted in the clinical violating, butchering, and overpowering and stupefying of the child victims.